Icebox.
I mean, yeah, I've been popping off with some good old Gecko on my ranked games, but that's just me, right? And let's see how it shows up in organized play here with these teams doing practices, doing scrimmed, and not at all looking like a ranked game, right? Icebox, it's going to be a lot of question marks in terms of comps, play styles, because there's so many different possibilities. However, we will start to see that typical, play style that will fall into. But, going into these next few bans, you have Royalty banning Breeze, and then WSU banning Bind, which will end us up on Sunset.
I mean, Sunset is just basically a scent with a donut in the middle. I kind of joked about it previously on the desk when we were chatting with each other, but that B site is straight up just, ancient from CSGO in certain capacities, right? Because I know I don't want to bring in the other games, the other words, but it is very similar in terms of the play style for it and the way that it's kind of positioned and postured for teams to play on. Now, the thing that I like about Sunset, it was one of the first maps that Gecko was really viable on. And we're talking about Gecko, we're going to talk about Icebox as we're going to be heading into Icebox to see the map picks, the agents, sorry, not the map picks, we just saw the map picks. We're going to see the agent picks here. And interestingly enough, for WSG, I believe, or sorry, no, for Royalty, Dr. Chemistry is the player replacing Aimbot specifically for this game. And a part of me is kind of understanding why right now, as they're hovering the Viper, a potential kind of comfort pick for that player. And they know that Dr. Chemistry might be more comfortable on this role, specifically on this map. So they swap out the players. They're really comfortable with this. They'll bring Aimbot back for the other maps.
Right. Maybe it's a Zelsis situation where you just bring in your sub who's a little bit more comfortable per se on a map, or maybe it's just somebody is celebrating Easter, because happy Easter, everyone. It's a good day today. But just popping off and really these two comps, you do see these Geckos, like you mentioned. You see the Mirror Sova, Killjoy. I mean, everything's a mirror at this point. So really, all of that utility, it's going to be the same.
Yeah, and I've been seeing a lot of this comp kind of floating around as a standard comp, similar to Ascent, where we see the standard Ascent comp. We see a lot of this similarity in Icebox because it's a lot about the post plant, and that post plant utility is really strong. And this comp allows for a really good variety of both post plant util with the Gecko Molly, the Viper Molly, this the KJ Molly, and even the Sova Molly or the Sova Shock Darts. I mean, they're all damaging abilities. They're all mollies. They're all different variations of an ability that can delay that defuse. And with how much Icebox is a post plant and retake simulator, it feels like that makes sense. Oh, look at them. They're huddled up in a group.
All right, team meeting, everyone. What's our game plan? Win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win. All right, I like that plan. But yeah, you talk about the utility where it's going to be that that post plant simulator, that retake simulator, and it's going to be tough. But here we are with Kawhi taking a very aggressive angle to start this one off.
I like this, right? Immediately kind of testing the waters, seeing what these players are going to do. They're going to catch Double O off guard, getting 2 and getting taken down. Back and forth pinstripes there on the kill feed. Izumi falling back, and there's the Gecko util coming out. Wingman, always a solid player to get the plant. Thankfully gets stopped here, but Izumi's going to get stopped down, falling for it. Hottie the third, sending out the second. One player going down and being the last. They must have had kind of the numbers in their mind because they end up being the last to fall.
Yeah, that's interesting there. I mean, you saw the 2 great picks come out early, right? You saw Kawhi get those 2 very, very early picks. So you're thinking, okay, we have the upper hand. Let's try and get this one sealed and over and done with. But they actually don't get any picks off of those first 2 after that. So that's really, really interesting to me. That kind of is a giveaway for the play styles and how these teams are going to be playing. I wish that either, they should have been decisive. We're thinking, okay, let's, stall this post plant and make sure we're committed to that. Make sure we just push into them since we have that numbers advantage. Or do we play retake and try and find it that way?
I'm not overheat, right? A lot of these players, right, they go so fast, and so Kawhi is not going fast. They're actually getting stomped down. A little bit more sight control for this bomb to go down. becomes really effective, and this is truly the effect of Gecko, who manages to also grab Dr. Chemistry. Those are the shock darts coming forth. Zooter finding their even and their equal, leaving just a couple players on the board. Azumi and QIQ, the only two players to find picks here, leaving QIQ or Lion in a 1v3. Now QIQ goes by Lion, but interesting why they changed their name there. They're gonna be peeking out and not finding too much. No, they find enough. Thankfully, the double is going to win. They played together, and it was costly there. If you take 3 players down, I always call it costly because this bonus buy this bonus round, I guess, is not going to be as potent.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was going to be overdone with maybe one casualty, but then you see someone overextend a little bit too much, get a little overzealous, they get caught out, then the flank pick comes in. Now you're talking 3v1, you get an extra pick and a dink on the headshot with the classic. I am all for that. So really, really good damage, kind of salvaging a very broken situation from what was just that first few sequence of picks. So I really like what WSU did there, and you know, I guess as well what Royalty did.
Shot out of position, Kawaii needing to fall back here. And again, it's a little bit of broken by here for WSU. They, you know, they are going to be playing a bit slower because of that, I think.
Slow moment now. Taking it in. Seeing that if the cut noise re-hit works out, but it's not enough time for these players to rotate.
I don't think it's going to be, they waited a little bit too, they didn't wait enough. Sorry, the opposite, actually. They didn't wait enough time here because look at all these players who are still on the site. Plant's going to go down. A couple of hits, but nothing found. 00 immediately going to start us off. That's the rotate coming forth, and the defensive side here with their bolstered weaponry is looking to win out. Unfortunately, not able to find the picks that they need. A stall within the round, a stall within that spike. Defuse Thunder picking up one with the util, and I was talking about, you know, post-plant util and how it's just retake simulator and defuse simulator, but it's really true here. You need to take those players out. That's exactly what Hottie the Third is going to do here. That's what you need to do to win the round. Grab the players who are a thorn in your side.
As much as WSU are happy with the result from that round, you know, getting 3 picks on a bonus round, getting that bomb down, I think honestly they should be happy with, well, they wanted a little bit more there. I think they could have converted that round, right? You don't peek early, right? You wait for tap. You don't have wingman on bomb just quite yet. You can listen for that audio cue, and maybe playing together, you get one more kill, maybe get even the round. I mean, I think there's a world where they are 3-0 in this game right now.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I feel like they could have done it with the Thrash. They had the Thrash ready to pop, but it just, I don't know why they didn't use it. I feel like it would have been a really fun moment to see if they popped it this early in the game.
But alas, it's all just hindsight now. We will never know what could be, as now it's just going to be up to this round right at this moment.
Almost, you know, getting a little haircut there. Suitor jumps up, gets swatted out as well with that Cypher util. Now the Thrash is coming out here to give them a more potent buy round. So I see maybe the strategy was not to win that, but unfortunately the defense is going to crunch and collapse on top of you, leaving only one player left alive. Zooter, you need to do the impossible, but already finding one. Has the position to be making these ones. They're going in their favor. Zooter getting spot out on the rotate. Decides to just commit to the rotate. No cutting noise here.
I like this play. I mean, it makes sense, right? And you kind of force this opposing player, Kawaii, to make a gamble. Do I stick around on A and hope that we can get this one done over here? But no, here comes the plant on a B. So a lot of question marks. And Zooter, you know, ideally should be winning this round because there's so many places to clear. Kawaii has to just pull out a miracle, but you know,
I
maybe
think you get aggressive, no?
Position. Yeah.
Again, right? Like the whole benefit of Gecko's kit is that you can get aggressive here. They're gonna meet the stars align, and I guess that's why I'm not a pro player, because Zooter is gonna find Kawaii on the take. Immediately, right? My mind is like, they're rotating from CT. They're most likely either gonna be Snowman Kitchen or mid.
Yeah, I mean, right? You're rotating from A. They're either mid, kitchen, or CT. So do you try and take one of those angles to play? Do you play for that time to stall? I mean, you really didn't have any util left, so that's kind of a tough one to play. And I believe that Gecko Zooter was a little bit low on HP as well. So
30, yeah.
yeah, so that definitely is a very, very critical round. And the fact that WSU wins that forces the opposing team, Royalty, now onto an eco buy, a broken buy, and a one looking for a little bit more than they are purchasing with.
Or picked up. And I mean, Attack having the weapon advantage here, decided to go to B. It makes sense, right? You're going to try and hit that B site when you have as many advantages in ultimates and whatnot. Being one of those harder sites to pick off. Picks coming out through not only smokes, but also towards the players. Double O's getting doubles, looking for the 3 to be the #1 player here. Doesn't find too much, has to dash out of position. Reload comes through. Lion taken down. That's the leader of the Pride. No longer there. Dr. Chemistry is only gonna hide in a corner. A flawless victory, leaving 001 left. I mean, not only are they alive, but they are, I think, the #1 player so far.
Yeah, I mean, 001 looking like 007 with the moves out there.
Because Zooter 10-2 right now.
True. Yeah, so what are we realizing from that? The very aggressive playstyle that WSU is pushing out is actually working, right? They're winning because of this aggression, because they can just throw that wingman out, bait out all of that initial utility. But that's what we kind of need to realize, right? If you don't destroy that wingman, that bomb will go down, then you're playing post-plant / retake, and that hasn't been really very favorable for Royalty here.
Ooh, and this Thrash is going to be a very big deterrent here. I think this is the second time we've seen Zooter pop it, clearing most of the back site to ensure that the post plant that we were discussing and how dominant it was can go down. Shots come forth, but Ricky doesn't find them. But Ricky having the read towards the jet also is going to give a huge advantage for them. They're going to immediately fall back off the site. The Thrash to counter. Haughty the Third is going to find one, not using the wingman for the defuse, instead to create space. Smart. Not being predictable. Zooter can use that Thrash yet again. The casualty, and Haughty the Third is going to net at least some picks, but it might be a little too late. Thankfully, the numbers advantage equalizes in the favor of defense. They get the half, they get the full. The defense doesn't need to kill all of these players. They just need to win the round, and they do just that. Even though 001 gets the 4-piece, it still falls in defense's favor.
I mean, that one was a crazy series of events, right? I mean, first you talk about the wingman not going on the bomb, providing that space instead, which I guess is a 50-50 gamble, right? You can use it to go on bomb, but it is predictable, but you're still applying that pressure to force everyone to peek, but instead uses it to clear up because that Thrash is going to be coming in once again. So I like that play, and it does end up working for them as they will get that defuse, get the round, and hey, maybe they're starting to come back into this one.
I like the adaptation that they were doing. Something I wanted to call earlier was to play for retake. Kawaii getting the first pick here and then just fully retaking the site would be very strong for them. But the confidence has been gained as Izumi is going to grab another. Now, Attack, right? They're still scaling up here. They're still walking up into the site. They do find Kawaii, so at least having a little bit of confidence that A site's the site they want to end off on. But considering that their numbers have been dwindling here, I don't understand the commit here. It's a little bit rough. It's almost like you have a minute of time. Find the picks. They do. Izumi's also really low, so they could have a read onto this, but they're getting pinched onto the site from all of these angles, leaving only Coco down in the 1v3. I mean, they had a minute on the timer, and the retakes from defense have really been good.
I mean, we're just seeing fast play after fast play, right? We're kind of taking all of those mind games out of this one, right? It's just been fast hit after fast hit, A or B. Nobody's really been screwing around in mid, no map space, no map control is really being a factor here, right? It's all kind of just, okay, which site do we feel like hitting? Flip that coin. Well, it's not quite working for you right now, right? I mean, it was at first, but now it's started to slow down, right? Maybe the adaptations are coming through. So I just feel like Royalty is starting to catch on, and I would like to see maybe a pace change coming out from WSU here.
It's just retaking of space. Rather, they're okay with giving it up, especially from that first round where Kawaii was doing a huge amount of damage early on, but they weren't netting themselves too much in terms of a victory. So being able to be fall back, let this space get taken, and then collapse back on it has really been the core adaptation. Cores can still fall and break. Dr. Chemistry knows exactly that. as they are a doctor indeed. Ricky gonna find one. Coco picking up another as well. It's looking like a very nice set of players here towards the A site. Attack being able to find all the picks that they need this time, not allowing the retake to come forth, taking the fight immediately to them. Kawaii, thankfully there's 2 players there. Sunder's gonna fall for it, but Ricky isn't. Coco still alive, is going to grab Kawaii, and even though the adaptation was strong, it wasn't as strong as the unbridled aggression from Attack.
Am I watching a TDM right now? Is that what's going on?
Feels a little bit like it, honestly.
You just see a bunch of util going in. You know where everyone's at. There's no kind of use for information here. I would like to see maybe a read come out where, you know, off of the aggression from a Sova Dart, Izumi, you know, pops a Sova ult, something like that, just because they know that they are stacking up on these sites. You can get a lot of that collateral damage with that Hunter's Fury, but ending up on the wrong site this time.
And I like this B take, right? You know, they've been very predictable so far. Again, they know it's an eco. They go to B for the ecos. It's been a little bit kind of like, I think, read into by Royalty right now. They're like, hey, we know you guys go when we have less weaponry here, but it still works out for them, so why not keep going? Viper Spit's gonna go down, even though they got the 1-for-1s. Izumi still hunting, fishing for some more. It's Coco gonna be the player to find one. Ricky is now just kind of dancing around in that spike, getting planted. And at this point, right, if you're on the defense side, you need to find some picks. Kawaii is gonna do just that. Same thing with Izumi. They have the numbers at least equal, and Izumi does find a buy-up. Kawaii gets another onto Coco, spots out the tip of the barrel to get the defuse and to get the round. Izumi is going to clutch it out, but I think that was very precarious.
Yeah, and you see a Thrifty come out here, which I think personally was off of the back of that Viper's ult. It actually, I think, was the wrong decision there, because any advantage that you have with that longer range weaponry actually just goes away, right? And you let the defense get close to you.
I think that's such a, like, that's important, but also the predictability aspect that they have been going. I think 2 ecos so far that we have seen that they have went towards B site. So they stacked B in the defense's favor. Royalty knew that WSU Gold would go to B during their eco. So they kind of had that read already predicted. It kind of defeats the purpose of, you know, catching them by surprise. I think at this point, right, the team kind of lining up towards B, especially for WSU, is kind of another read into the Viper's pit. At least I would hope so. Thrash comes out, gonna detain Hottie the third. Unfortunately, Kawaii has the Blade Storm, so just a tap to the head. Zooter going for that plant. They are gonna be one of the stronger players. They were the MVP we were talking about. Picking up another, getting taken down, is going to leave the numbers advantage still a little bit, you know, not as stable as it once was. It was a 2-man lead. Oh, I hear what you're oohing on. Dr. Chemistry has kind of this just really solid walk up, a great timing, but they get caught out by Coco. Coco on low HP. If they can take down Coco here, that's gonna be really good for them. But the thing that they don't realize is there's still a thorn in their side. Ricky taking space behind these players. Izumi now needs to slow them down. On the attacker's side, Dr. Chemistry's gonna go for the defuse, but the clutch is found. And I think that wraparound from Ricky was so good to catch Dr. Chemistry off guard.
I mean, that's just a game of timings there, really. You saw Dr. Chemistry actually did spot out Ricky twice on that screen, but it's just in the peripherals, just that frame peeking. So it's really, really tough to catch those moments like that. And that's what makes Valorant such an interesting game. You can just, there's just split decisions, split moments where you look away at the wrong time, and it gets you close rounds like that. But still 6-4 on the scoreline, so very much a close game overall. I'm interested to see how the end of this half will go.
And it's been very fast-paced, right? We're talking about interest. We're also talking about how the speed has been working in favor for both these teams, but in different capacities. You can't underestimate how some of these players will react.
I don't think they cut enough noise there again. I mean, you got the Hunter's Fury here to cancel this one out. Wait, so they actually back off? This is interesting. I don't know if I like that play.
No, one player gets detained by the attacker's KJ. The plant goes down, but the defense KJ is there. They They counter with the Hunter's Fury, but this one actually lands in it. The strategy was really similar for both these teams, but it worked out a little bit cleaner for that attacking side. Now, Zooter waiting for the timing, catches 2, I think 3 players? No, but only kills 1. The kill feed lighting up red there as it is a clean, well, almost clean victory. They lost Zooter there, but Zooter provided so much information in terms of that Dizzy that honestly, I think it was worth it.
I think that really comes down to a comms issue over for the side of Royalty, right? Royalty, they weren't quite sure what they were going for. Are we going to break this Killjoy ultimate with our Hunter's Fury and then still hold down on site? Are we going to just try and flood in after the Killjoy ultimate? And they really didn't make that decision fast enough, right? We saw them shoot the Killjoy ult once, then tag a player, and then just be confused. And then one player gets detained. I mean, that's just something that I think needs to go with the coordination of the team.
And the fact that Attack was also able to break that lockdown is just a huge victory for them. Thrash comes out, does not spot out Kawhi, who has a read, gets one, dashes out, not able to get the second. That's why number 1's number 1, but number 1's also the first to go down here on the site. Sunder grabbing Hadi the Third is going to slow down the roll of Attack, and this again, just this, I think it's just been a numbers advantage stack here towards the A site. Dr. Chemistry is going to take at least some control back into their hands, and again, the stack towards A really has been working for Royalty.
You know, as much as it has been working to kind of get those rounds on Attack, right? You saw from WSU, they only come away with 7, right? It's a 7-5 half, and it seems like as much as these rounds were very, very one-sided, you know, maybe one team just completely dominates this round, right? We didn't really see too many close rounds. The fact that the scoreline is so close is interesting, I think, because I think it comes down to just overall game plans from the start of the round, not even adapting to that mid-round call. I think it really just comes down to, okay, we're going to shoot our bullets a little bit better this round, and we're going to shoot them in the face a little more.
This is also Royalty's map pick. So, I mean, the fact that they're kind of down right now isn't a little bit scary, but you know, they're on the I believe offensive now, so they have some sort of advantage going into this. I personally believe a little bit of an offense heavy map, if you are a really good team for those takes, like you can get those site takes down. It's a matter of if they can plant that bomb.
This is gonna be scrappy, I can already tell.
Ooh, scrappy indeed. Lion's gonna find Coco, and I feel like that's a serial mascot in the making, honestly. They flood onto the side. Dr. Chemistry getting taken down. It's Lion to find it, but get traded out almost immediately. Again, these pistol rounds have really been kind of back and forth. The colors have been swapped. Hoity the Third finding their equal and leaving Ricky in the hot seat. Zumi pushes in, the spike goes down, and now Ricky does balance it out. Low bullets, low HP. They both have a little bit less of something. It's going to be a matter of a timing. I think just barely spotting out the barrel of Hoity the Third's gun. Did you see that? Like the small sliver? Yeah, that's a read right there. That was not even a read. That's just like great reaction time.
I mean, that's when the the fancy skin shopping actually comes down to harm you, right? You talk about the glow in the dark skins. I believe that was a Radiant Entertainment there, and that one, a little bit noticeable, right? More than just the standard default, and so the reaction was there. But overall, right, Ricky should have won that, and very much did. So well played there. But I do like kind of how that take went down. I think the attacking could have been a little bit more coordinated on that util, right? You saw the wingman go a little bit too far.
Yeah, it went deep, and deep is good sometimes, but if it's not maintained, it doesn't control. They push in for the defense to collapse onto the offense. One player left, and they're hiding in a corner. Zumi fighting for their life here, and only managing to find 2 before they go 3, actually, before they go down. I misread that. 2 in that moment, 1 early on.
Some nice shots, I guess. I mean, I'll take those. Good damage overall. Try and salvage it like they did before. Like, we saw that right on that previous second round of this game even. So, just the bullets, they're landing, but the game plan seems to not be quite there, right? The utility is the big difference. And really, that comes down to the defining factor of this game, right? This is a mirror matchup. The utility has to be better than your opponent. You really need to be outworking them and finding the way to work around their comp.
seeing if you can potentially like clear up comms during those really crucial fights, knowing where the players are and how it's used. But again, defense having this bonus round, they bought up a little bit into it. It's still very likely for them to win out, but again, they've just been slamming this A site. Ricky getting pushed out of position, needing to pull their wall up, and at least they know one player's out. But again, a lot of this util that they dedicated to enter onto the site could be utilized for that post plant. A little bit less secure on the plant, but they're gonna go for it anyway. It's gonna come through, gets taken down though, and now the spike is lost. It's in the enemy territory. Ricky finds another, a lot of space created. Kawhi is so good with the gun, managing to at least get some sort of scraps to be found here. 2 players still alive for the attack, for royalty. And again, right, we talked a little bit about this. It was you know, they lost the bomb. It could have gone either way. There was a singular outplay in terms of using better weaponry on Kawhi, but if that's what you're relying on, I don't know how consistent you can be. This is really going to be a tell here. How do they play this against Sunder? Patience is there.
They spotted Killjoy.
They do spot out more than that. Sunder getting a pick. Nanoswarm's out. Looking to find Lion here, picking up a weapon. Going for that safe defuse. Come on, you haven't heard him in a couple seconds. They go off, and they pop off. Thankfully, attack wins, but not without sustaining major damage.
Yeah, that one was a close round, and that's the Valorant that I like to see. I like to see those close rounds, those moments where you just don't know what's going to happen next. And really, right, that should have gone the way of the attackers. They should have gotten that. I mean, granted, Kawhi just gets 3 miracle kills backside. I don't even know how that happened, right? But Izumi and Lion, they finally secured that round off the back of the 2v1, which they used their util correctly. They played the time correctly, and the bullets just weren't quite there for that clutch potential on WSU's side. But now we start to see mid be utilized at least just a little bit for the first time in this game.
I feel like that's a good change of pace, right? We haven't seen too much mid control being fought for here. It's gonna at least leave that A site a little bit more empty. It's gonna give them a bit more room to work on this site, at least with less players. But still, the player that is on the site is gonna go down. QIQ takes them, and that's gonna net them an opening here. But still rather slow. They're not going to be super dynamic yet. Both the teams wanting to go for a solid play. The Hunter's Fury goes out to zone these players still. Speaking of the Hunter's Fury, the Sova managing to find 2 on the defensive side for WSU. That's good. Not very dynamic, but the picks have been. They have been finding these players. It's just been very methodical. I think that's what's going to work out for them. 2 players already working their way into maze, but Kawhi has the read, gets the pitch, finds the 2, and now leaves Coco in a really, I mean, in a basically dead spot.
Yeah, that's not where you want to be. The opposite side of Kawhi's barrel.
Yeah, and you have to drop onto the site, so you're already at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, Kawhi has been, you know, that turntable player for this team so far, right? We saw, you know, it used to be aimbot before Dr. Chemistry. Now Dr. Chemistry probably playing a little bit more of that support role, enabling Kawhi to go a little bit ham, right? Take that leash off just a tad bit, say, go have fun. Go have fun, be a duelist. And, you know, you can play ranked if you want, I guess. But, you know, these teams... right, they're starting to play a little bit differently, right? We're seeing it with that mid control, the pace changes. I mean, we saw an A stack that's leaving immediately, which is honestly a little interesting, but the call is correct.
I mean, it's a very similar call that was made, right? They're on an eco round, so let's go B. For attacking side round for royalty, they're like, oh, okay, let's go B, because it's a harder site to slam, right? So you want to go for their eco when they have worse off weaponry. Like right now, I mean, the only players I'm really concerned about are the like Sunder, who doesn't have a stinger. Everyone else has stingers. It's just head tap city here. So if Kawhi can pop off, that's all that really matters.
I guess they're gonna go with the classic bum rush stinger strat, but I don't know how well it's gonna work for them.
I don't think it's gonna work for them at all, at least to a degree. What? Okay, they managed to find 2 at least, but Kawhi is still there. I was gonna say, I don't think it's gonna work because you still have like just the player advantage is so high.
Yeah, the player advantage as well as that weaponry advantage. I mean, you have so much space to gain before those stingers really become, an advantage, right? You need to be at least in that mid to close range for it to really get a lot of value. And so maybe now we're starting to see why Royalty picked this map, right? They won 3 straight. They converted their bonus and, well, not the bonus. They converted their buy, but now they're just running with it. So this is really going to be a test as the 4 ultimates are online for WSU. This would probably be the biggest question mark we've had so far.
Again, a similar situation where there's a Viper spit towards A. They've been slammed on it, so they decide to go B instead to kind of read into it. It's very funny how both these teams are playing really similarly, just on different sides. Reminds me a lot of Ascent, unfortunately. Thankfully, unfortunate, now thankful, the spike is going to be stopped, at least for now. Hoity needing to plant it themselves. Dizzy gets broken, and they fall back. The retake simulator starts here, and we'll have to see if they're strong enough to do it. The Viper Spit abandoned for the rotate, and that's an ultimate found, at least put down for defense to kind of get these players. I see the debate, like, are we going to rotate? Are we going to flank? No, not popping out instead. Kawhi is going to pop out, grab Zooter. The ult is going to net themselves at least some sort of pressure, but Ricky is going to rise to the occasion. Finds them out. They're gonna peek here, but Whitey grabbing 2 is gonna be huge for them. It actually might be the thing they need to win this round, because the numbers advantage fell immediately into Royalty's favor.
Usually we talk about the lineups being, the one that Viper's playing for with their snake bites, but instead it's just the defense actually lining up in front of the bullets. So, hey, no matter what lineup goes in favor of the attackers, they're still getting the round. So props to them.
I think it's time to take a timeout.
I agree. Maybe not this
or next round.
Yeah.
Maybe next round because it's their eco currently, but like 4 rounds up, about to be the 5th, or very close to be the 5th. We can't really cast recurs that much yet.
But it's eco round, so what does that mean?
Rush. Go
Slam
away. 4 players A here on defense. If you can kill Azumi. Oh, I love how Azumi's just dumping some util here to kind of keep these players, but they're aware already with the spike going down. They're going to be very comfortable on this rotate, but I like the read to slam to A. At least it's going to give them potentially a weapon since they all have sheriffs. Oh, but look how far Kawhi's pushed up out of position. That's a gun found here for these players. And now WSU might have a way to work themselves back into the game. 001, popping the 1, popping the Blade Storm. That's going to be Wingman coming out. Another ultimate invested to potentially swing this round in their favor. But that's going to be a refrag to be found. 1-for-1s haven't been working out too well in favor. The defense is just going to stick the defuse. And even though it looked like a round that didn't matter, it became so much more just because of one misplay.
Yeah, I think Kawhi just a little bit too far up, right? Not able to get traded. And bigger, the bigger fact is that's a gun. That's a gun in the hands of the defenders. And you can talk about smokes, you can talk about flashes, you can throw Wingman on bomb, and you have just covering fire. So that gun is really, really important in the grand scheme of things. Kawhi, it might be, kicking himself in the foot for that one, right? But it's all good, right? You have to learn to come back from those rounds, from those mistakes. And just like we're seeing, WSU finally get around back on the board.
I believe it is legendary Bren quote. You're gonna get shot in the face. It is a gun, like it is a game with guns, right? Like it is a game about guns, about gunplay. Even though right, tactical shooter, great gunplay. You shoot and you shoot and you win. Zooter's gonna find Kawhi, and giving guns up is not gonna work out. Thankfully, the numbers are even, but Ricky hides in a rat spot. Sunder grabbing Hoity. They deny that bomb going down, and this default is slowly being dismantled. And I feel like defaults on Icebox have always been a bit lackluster, unfortunately, just by the nature of the map. So it hasn't worked out. Ricky getting spotted out, information gained. Izumi going to capitalize off of it, but still there's 3 players left and they are in the hot seats. That's the crouch coming out, and it's actually gonna be Sunder who gets him from the side, I think from the top of that site.
Puts a whole nother definition to from the top ropes. I guess I wouldn't have expected it to be Icebox that you see from the top ropes, but fair enough, right? This isn't, WWE. So, we are going to see, these teams now, right? It's 11-9, and you're forced onto an eco buy. Do you call a timeout here, or do you think there is an eco strat for this struggling Royalty offense that, they need this round, right? If you lose this round, it's match point. I mean, this is going to be tough.
And now, right?
Here.
Precipice of match point. Defense has been doing a better job of their retakes. They're being a lot cleaner here. The B-side take comes out for Royalty to try to salvage something. Kawhi with a Blade Storm, a couple of other ults on the line and ready.
Right here.
They just need to be playing a little bit closer together, clear up those comms and work it out. This is, I believe, Royalty's map pick, right? And we saw it with the 4 rounds up. So they need to whip something out here if they want to win. One's found out towards Snowman, so at least there is some information there. Immediately, Coco goes. Understreak falls. The bomb still needing to be planted. Kawhi gets another. And again, Royalty, if they're good at one thing, they're very good at using this firepower. Thankfully, right? So Kawhi playing more conservatively this time. Playing further back. They have the time to work with. They can wait for Wingman to refresh for that utility to come back up online. I almost said eulogy, but unless this team hits match point and ends off the game, we're not going to be dead just yet. Ricky gets caught off guard. 2 players still alive here. They need to work their way back in. Not a flawless round. A lot of damage has been done to the side of Royalty. As they're just waiting, right? I think both the teams are kind of just vibing out, and it might be a read to just play for exits here.
Yeah, it makes sense, and well played, from the attacking side to get this round on the board, but you're going to have to cut your losses, right? Save these guns as much as you can, just because you're still going to be forcing the enemy. Oh, never mind. Everyone's got a gun on their side, too, so they're set up for a good next round, but I just think it comes down to 001, right? 001 is anchoring down that A site. We really haven't seen teams rotate from B to A, right? Once you see that full-on B pressure, that's it. There's no lurker that tries to push up into your spawn. So I think that maybe recognizing what the flank utility is for a B hit on the, from Royalty side is going to be really, really important, because you can gain all of that map control on A. Maybe you apply pressure, you force them to speed up the plant, or maybe make some mistakes that they're just not ready for.
Kind of try and trip them up. But I mean, at this point, right, they don't have too many trap plays that they can work with. Royalty, they have at least this one little thrashy boy to do something immediately. That's a win condition lost here for the defensive side. They don't have Wingman to go for the defuse. Royalty now looking a lot stronger on their own map pick. They just grabbed that. I think they just grabbed an orb and left. After picking off one, they're going to rotate off.
I love how after the round where I said they've never ever rotated. What do they rotate in next round? Yeah.
I mean, hey, that's a good. Hey, it just goes to show the good calls come out, right? Wingman's gonna go down here. So is that spike. 50 seconds still on the clock. Got to manually do it this time. It's not gonna be automatic. And they're gonna fall back into their post plant positions.
I want to see a mid wrap, please. We haven't seen one yet. I mean, maybe we are now.
I can look at Kawhi. It might come out, but unfortunately, it's gonna get called for. Number 1, 001 is gonna grab them. Finest specimen there is. The retake comes forth. There's that thrash. The armadillo shark lizard thing gonna find one. Ricky is going to go down. Unfortunately, again, the trades have been very dynamic, but no one taking a lead up until this final moment. Rule is out of bullets. Whips out the classic and gets the defuse in the nick of time. I feel like 1.3 seconds.
Oh, was
Ah,
that important?
0.5.
0.53. I got the 3 right, but not in the right order.
Match point.
And no
Maybe-
1.
Maybe you're gonna have to try your luck at the casino. Maybe a different day. Maybe not today.
No. A match point is found here for the side of WSU Gold.
Yeah, WSU, they're looking, strong. And this is, they had a little rough spot, right? There was 4 rounds where royalty seemed to go on. But if they can convert this into a map, you're talking map point, opponent's map choice in your hands, and now you're on your favorable map. I mean, this is a very nice position to be in, especially with this Viper's Pit now coming down as well.
Oh, it's just gonna stall them out, and now that's gonna make it so difficult to push in. Kawhi still has a really good read and an angle that is found onto pipes, so not over just yet. Spam, but nothing gained. I think it's just gonna draw a lot of this pressure away from Kawhi as well. But unfortunately, now that they've rotated once and they had that mid wrap, they're going to hold into mid and take that space. Zuder just waiting out. Oh my God, caught off guard. Oh, like dazing, kind of asleep at the wheel almost there. But it's like, oh, they did rotate. Wow, surprise.
The element of surprise. I mean, I just feel like in this Viper's Pit, right, we're listening to the Jaws theme, where it's just
bottom.
Somebody's going to be found in there.
Bottom. Bum, 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 bum. The pace picks up. My chattering stops as it immediately slows, but Kawhi slips right through. Line's gonna get spotted. Kawhi's gonna get one. They get the 1 for 1, but Ricky's up top, and the decay is gonna work only in their favor. Manages to get another. The shark is out, and they're biting Ricky, grabbing a third. Izumi's gonna grab 2 picks from the side though. Last player into mid, Ricky knows, but there's no time here, and the defense is very close to winning this. The spike is down. Speaking of sharks, we get to see the thrash, and I feel like the bottom the boat's been bitten and the ship has sunk, as it's gonna be 10-13 on the board here. Defense win as they stall the timer.
I love that, the match point save, it goes hard. No, I'm kidding. But, there's not many options you can do. So even if forcing it, it's just going to pad the stats of the opponent. But well played. You said, we're kind of biting at Ricky, and it's really just biting at his ankles as they were doing a little bit unsuccessfully, all down from below. And Ricky, showing them, well, that controller is a very popular and very strong contender on the Icebox.
I mean, I think my favorite part of that is just the shark theme. Very funny read into that, honestly, Ari. But the one thing I do want to just say, right, is if this is going to be the map pick for royalty, I mean, is Ascent going to be different? A lot of teams do win out on their opponent's map picks, and there is some sort of dichotomy there. It's a matter of if royalty can rise to the occasion. Now, royalty, I believe they're going to be starting off on attack, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, no, they're going to be starting off on defense on Ascent, which I think is great because that is the better side to be on when you start off. You get 12 rounds of the better side on the map, and it's always going to be better. So we'll have to see if that can come forth and maybe become a reality. But with that, we're going to be going to a short break, and we will be back in about 5 minutes with some more Valorant action. So we'll see you guys then.
got a feeling love don't have to be the way you say it is.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are here yet again with Royalty versus WSU Gold, and on the map that Royalty picked, they lost. So now the story gets a little sticky. The situation gets unraveled, and we need to kind of either crown a victor or send it to game number 3. I'm once again Nerds Corner here with AriCast.
Hello, hello. Yeah, we saw a beautiful game coming out. It seemed like it was all WSU Gold, and then there was a little bit of some rockiness in that middle. Royalty. They came on back. They said bow down, but what happens is WSU were able to convert that one into their favor, and so once, like you said, wasn't even their map pick, which is really, really big. Let's see if they can take theirs, which is going to be Ascent.
Now, Ascent, we've seen this time and time again. I hope they lock in the Yoru. I hope they lock in the Neon. Give me something different to talk about. Please give me some different utility. Just something. I'm praying right here, because every single time we have seen these teams, they consistently go with the same composition that we've been seeing, and we see it on the defense as well. Yeah, great. It makes sense. People do it all the time. I always want to kind of like, I want to see a Loud comp. I want to see a Paper X comp. I want to see like, some teams watching VCT. Yes, we see Cypher instead of KJ. All right, we see at least some sort of change of pace. And in terms of the Sentinels, we also see Zooter hovering towards, potentially switching things up. I think that Viper is also really strong here. So I'm crossing my fingers, please.
The only harm with, Viper on this map is if these teams are going to be playing how they did this previous map, double controller really isn't going to have any effect because it's for map control, right? That's what you do. You establish map control and then you can hit off of that. But if you're just bum rushing down A with all of your util, it doesn't matter if there's a Viper wall in mid. You're just gonna go boom, bam, pow, and just shoot them in the face, like Bren said and like you said as well. So, really it comes down to
game.
that default comp over there for WSU Gold and the Cypher. So it's really the Cypher v KJ. Which one do you think is the better one here? Which one
Cypher,
is
he
better?
got buffed. That's not true. It's actually KJ, but like, I want to now I just want Cypher to win only for the fact, other than just to like rub in the fact that there is like some sort of like difference between them. But in reality, and in a like just an unfortunate situation, right? Like at this point, right, they need to win. I know that like I've been saying like I want Cypher to win, but Cypher needs to win because that's the side of Royalty. And if Royalty doesn't win out, well, then it's GG's. It's a 2-0 victory for WSU Gold, and they take the prize home. On the flip side, Royalty, right? We talked about how they're coming in with a little bit of confidence, or at least potentially with some confidence, since they had a really dominant run, and now it's kind of fallen apart, right? They lost a little bit of that.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And really, what it comes down to is, are we going to be seeing these just fast hits over and over and over? Are we going to see mid control be a factor of this game? Because it's not retake simulator. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna hope. But
I mean, no, this map
there's
is a
the
bit more
aggression.
defaulty. It's a bit more defaulty.
Aggression. Woo.
A rush? No, it seems like a mid kind of like slow play. And again, that's where Ascent is a little bit different from Icebox. It's gonna be a lot slower.
What are these teams doing right here? Well, they're taking mid, and there's some contact over towards B. But again, just establishing space, just waiting for a team to make a mistake. Really important. But I like this pinch. It looks like it's gonna be a pinch to A.
The A split, honestly, you're talking about how you like it. I think it's going to work out for them because they maintain a lot of control and they avoid the Cypher entirely. Dr. Chemistry does have a read onto them, gets taken down for their troubles. Unfortunately, he's Q. I believe a new player getting swapped up here for the map. Sunder, new player to take them down. They're not super warm and ready. The spike not going down. Great communication there, I guess, from attack to defense. Like, hey, wait, let me grab the orb. Then you guys can plant there, even though they're on different teams. Sunder vibing towards the hell position. Does get spotted out, though. Zooter is going down. That means their post plant is going to be a bit rougher. It also means it's 3v3, and they have fully rotated onto the site. The drop comes forth for Lion. They play together. Lion's gonna fall. Izumi looking to even out at least anything, at least find a player. And it's going to be Kawaii doing most of the heavy lifting, finding the 3 into hell, kind of corralled in that position.
I mean, hey, it works out in their favor. Royalty, they get around on the board, right? They win that pistol round, which we haven't seen them do yet, right? They lost both of those pistols on that first map. But Royalty, I don't know if I like the wrap from, Kawaii from main. Sure, it did end up working, so I will give you that. You got your 3 kills, you got yours. Okay, fair play. But if you stay in a main, right, you apply that pressure, sure, you can get rushed, but you didn't, right? Everyone is still forced to go hell, and so that kind of allows you to go for those pinches. But I understand why they did what they did, and it made sense, and I'm glad that
honestly,
for their sake they get one round.
It could have been working either way, both from main or from Garten, so I get your point there, but they got the orb.
True.
They got the orb. I feel like that's kind of like my only retort there. And with attack losing here, it's got to be very slow round again.
Yep, just another slow round. Just these teams trying to establish this pressure once again. And you see that cat smoke, which, caught them off guard, but there's a little bit of a hole, and I think they're trying to expect them to push into this one.
At least in some capacity. Zooter already finding one is going to be some sort of advantage for them. And the buy-up has been pretty, not Bulldogs are going for full shields instead here because they know the Sheriff meta has been strong and getting hit 145 is better. But look at this angle. Kizq believes just vibing out there in wine, but gonna get read into. 00 knows at least to a degree someone's there holding for it. They peek away from the angle, peek in, and that's gonna be a gun down and pick found here. Thankfully, Chemistry managing to pick up 2 is going to leave. Not, it's not gonna be as dominant for them, but this round is slowly falling in favor of attack, and it feels like WSU Gold could swing it back into their favor. Lion on the prowl. It's just the Lion on the prowl, waiting to spot any of these players out, looking to see if they can grab anything, but not finding too much. I think they're gonna go for a save. Nope. Yeah, they're going for a save now. It's locked in.
Save it on up, and I think that is a misplay from Royalty there. I do think that because you have that kill trip on B, right? You have that cam up on B. You're having all of that active info, as well as the passive info with that trip in mid, right? No one's going to be there. Chances are, sure, the Omen could TV over it. But you're thinking, okay, we have info on B. We have info mid. We know they're going A. At least that's what we're going to have to hope for, right? So the fact that they really didn't stack that up a little bit, or at least they fell too early, tried to get overzealous, and really didn't have a crossfire in main. That was my big thing. You have that wine player, but nobody else is there to trade that. So that could just be a gun donated, and then site is just given up for free. So I think Royalty A little bit of a misplay there, but they do have a Guardian in this round
Here,
to
on my
hopefully
way.
come back from it.
They're gonna need to come back, right? Since that was a not only a thrifty win, but also just like a really important round for them to win, so they could start 2-0 in this. And the fact that they lost is going to be really unfortunate. Kawhi again caught out of position, and they, with your own weapons as well, right? They're picking up the weapons that they got from the previous round here, and now it's looking a lot more precarious for Royalty. They were I mean, we kind of called them a little bit like, oh yeah, you know, they have a dominant game, they did a really good job, they beat some really good teams, but it seems like it was just might have been a really easy bracket run for them, and going up against WSU, they have a harder time.
It's all in the cards. The cards have to unfold the way they do, but that's why they get shuffled in the way with the bracket, right? That's why you just kind of have to hope. And with an interesting tournament format like the one we're seeing, right? All BO1s, BO3 grand final, it really leaves a lot of question marks.
Question marks on the board. People are still kind of, you know, perplexed, confused, and found. Kizuku's gonna get taken down. Rest of the players kind of meandering around towards CT. Gets spotted. Zooter is gonna go down. The fight was taken there. Double O's getting taken, and that's gonna leave one player alive. It's not gonna be a flawless victory, but it is a very solid one nonetheless for Attack, who pick up the second round here.
Yeah, that round should have gone their way, and they were set up in a position to win that round. I like how they just played a little bit more passive. Sure, they tried to get at least one pick early, and I like Royalty, you know, how they aggressed in the way that they did, but it just, that gun disadvantage, excuse me, is a little bit too much to overcome, at least in that scenario. So WSU Gold, they are looking strong. They're going to be forcing up to rifles here now, as well as Royalty forcing up on the buy here. So you see one Light Shield and one Bulldog, but still a very even matchup nonetheless, and something that should not be underestimated.
Ooh. Immediately the pick comes out, and that early aggression now kind of tempered, right? Immediately falling back. They played so far out of position towards A, and now they're going to be a little bit slower. And again, that's, you know, just the nature of Ascent, right? You're not going to see that many teams running into it and be like, yeah, let's go, let's go. You're going to see a bit more default playstyle.
The default playstyle and then jump spot spotted, but again, remember, there's just some information. Yeah, a second haircut today. Buy two, get one free, maybe.
You get more than one than what you bargained for.
Oh boy.
I feel like old boy is truly like truly what you gotta say here, because with 40 seconds something needs to come out, and Ricky is gonna need to pop out and find these players. Zooter grabbing Izumi is gonna lessen this pressure. Slowly Kizuku is gonna I think they're gonna catch the timing on the Ricky. Almost missed the shots, but almost doesn't count. It's an FPS game. You're gonna get shot from the back, get shot from the front just as easily. And for WSU Gold, this slow playstyle has not been working for them. Thankfully, you see an adaptation here. The 1-for-1 comes out. 12 seconds left. The stall comes forth. Dr. Chemistry needs to run away. Good read onto Sunder. That's another Odin in your face. 3, hit the 4, maybe the 5 to get the ace with an Odin. Means the god of... and the father of many different gods, the all-father in some cases. So let's see if Zooter's gonna be the one to do it. They find the ace, it gets locked in. And again, I feel like that was a very slow-paced game, so not too much, but in the climax, we do see a very solid play from Zooter.
Zooter manages to get all 5 there, and I guess, what would you consider that? Just sextupling the kills total, you know, only having 1 before that, now having 6 is, you know, is a big turnaround, right? And like we said, we expected a lot from Zooter being that MVP before, right? We talked about how they had basically a 2 KDA in every single map, you know, average wise. So that was really, really big, and now we're seeing those big moments where they are stepping up.
Yeah, at least hope so. In some capacity.
see what these teams are doing. They're kind of just chilling in mid right now. I mean, again, this is a common strat that we've been seeing, right? WS Gold, they just try and take this mid space, but it's actually going to be this Killjoy lockdown used on B, applying that pressure. Are they actually going to hit on it for mid? Oh, massive!
That's a great pick for Zooter. I honestly didn't expect the dash onto the site. It's gonna get countered, gets shot up, no one detained. 107 needing to run away. Actually, 001. I keep saying 007, but it's 001 here. Ricky gets the one, looks for some more. Gizu is gonna try to counter them. The tap for the Marshall. Nothing found. Ricky satisfied with what they've got, running away to safety, but QIQ is being a menace on the site. Sunder takes them down under. Ricky going away, and now at this point we have two players up, Spike down for attack, looking to find their fourth. WSU is looking to just win it out. Ricky finding the four, but not the ace. Yeah, great counter though to what we previously saw from Zooter, and with these individual outplays from not only these players but just immaculate timings, it seems like WSU Gold is looking to, you know, end it here 2-0.
Yeah. You can see with this replay here, Ricky landing some really, really nice shots and then opting not to go for that final one, right? Opting to let that player who's coming in on that flank try and get that kill. Unfortunately, they didn't. But then, you know, just playing that 2v1 on the bomb, secure the round, don't take any more mistakes and any more advantageous angles that might go the other way in your favor. So Kawhi now is in a dangerous position.
Fights come through into mid. Kawhi looks away, catches Ricky off guard. No, it's 00, the player to win it out. And thankfully, that's going to keep Ricky at least alive here. Now, Zooter takes out Dr. Chemistry off screen. You know, exit stage left type beat here. Mid control gained, but I think Izumi is going to read into it. Does not catch Sunder off guard though. The timing could have been perfect, but could have is what was in the past. Now, in the present, we have two players up and alive here, closing it on to the site.
Here's the thing with Cypher, right, is you kind of see, okay, if we see Cypher, let's just not hit him. Let's just not go to his site, because that is a lot of utility that we have to expend to clear that one out. There could be players playing in corners, all of that. Right, just play anti-Cypher. Now, if you hit him with that KO knife, that is a good suppression. Now you're feel free to hit that site, but otherwise, yeah, you're in for a rough enemy remaining.
Zooter's gonna close it off here, and 1-5. It's looking rather dominant here on a map that is traditionally, you know, I would argue defense-sided. This is not looking too good.
And I'm just trying to think, okay, you have a lot of map control, right? You have to harness that capability, right? Cypher is really, really big, and maybe is not stopping those site pushes. So if you're stopping the A execute, you should be stacking maybe over towards B, trying to play a little bit more aggro in mid, and they're just not quite realizing, hey, this is the strength of our comp right now. They're kind of messing up the space, I would say, a little bit, but oh, maybe here's some aggression.
Oh, Dr. Chemistry tries to get a read, but it's just gonna be a bloodbath here. It's all red. Not only because they've taken the players down, but because attack is just the color for some reason. It's red there on the board, leaving poor Cypher QIQ Lion. I don't think the pride is really packed here just yet, right? They're not doing such a hot job. Catches the timing. Ricky's gonna find him. A team ace. Everyone finds their one. And just, I mean, I don't know if we've talked about it too much, Ari, but the economy is looking rather just bad for the side of Royalty. I'm thinking about any like words to replace it with.
Synonym for bad. Famished, I guess you could say.
Honestly, I feel like that's really good, because we have Lion there, and you know the pride's not really packing a punch, and they're famished. Like it's all kind of part of one singular storyline, but I don't know, like the remedy to the madness is not found.
Here we are once again. What are we seeing? It's the mid control. And Royalty, remember, they tried to go for it last round, but it was read perfectly because of the slow default that comes in mid. They get it so easily without any util being wasted.
Oh, and I don't think Zooter saw Kawhi there, but just Kawhi doing a great job of catching the mid rotate. The mid reload. What the rotate? These guys are playing in mid. They get taken down in mid. And the numbers are starting to be found here, but again, it feels like a little bit of stroke of luck for them sometimes, rather than a real set strategy. But now with QIQ gone, though, the site take's going to be infinitely easier.
QIQ just needed to stay alive there.
They did. And now that's gonna net a potential victory here for the side of attack for Royalty. The picks are found. KZQ's going down. Ricky is as well. The rest of the players fall, and the retake crumbles and falls, but it doesn't fall on top of Royalty at this point. Royalty manages to really collapse onto WSU Gold.
Yeah, they got the picks there, and that one, it was a close round, but I do feel like that was somewhat of a fluke, right? You talk about WSU getting that mid control. It's strong. It's really, really strong. Then they kind of gave it up, right? They kind of just gave it up for free. That is what I don't like. I want them to capitalize off of that, either add some pressure on towards it, you know, assume that, okay, we have mid, we have a main at least, so we know Cypher's probably a main, right? Because if no one's fighting for main, chances are the Cypher's probably there, which it's not a rule, you know, 100% of the time, but it is certainly a logistical explanation.
Oh, and again, they're kind of like aware of QIQ, they're aware of Lion, and they're just gonna jet dash past it. 001 is gonna try to take them down so the entry can be fruitful, but it's not gonna work out for them. And it's a quick win by defense. The Fluke starting to really steamroll their victory here.
And I personally think, okay, I got a mental read for you. I got a psychology check, right? So therapy session, the doctor is in. Whatever you got to do, you lost that round previously and you lost it going mid. So Royalty are thinking, okay, they're probably going to change it up. But WSU Gold, they're thinking, wow, we just lost on mid. They must be adapting. Let's just completely change it up. They did. They got screwed over by it. I think that they still should have gone mid that round because of how, you know, what the fashion was, that how they lost it. I think they still got mid control very, very cleanly enough. I just want to see them use it a little better.
And Kawhi again holding this angle before getting out of dodge has been it's been very useful for them. He said fruitful last time, but the food has been kind of piling up for the pride, for the little pack alliance for Royalty. But then, I mean,
control.
Spike retrieve.
Made the land lost, forgotten, and reconquered.
I think it just comes down to whoever gets first kill here. I think whoever gets first blood, whoever gets that advantage over towards mid here, is going to be in a very favorable position. I mean, you see neither of these teams smoking off mid whatsoever. So they're kind of just giving that up. And there's the A kill. That's just going to be A Cypher free. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and now with Cypher gone, you said it. A-Site's free, 101 gonna die! And unfortunately, 001 not finding the pick they need onto Izumi. That's gonna be the lockdown utilized. We see Izumi trying to break it, but they managed to do it a little bit too late. It seems like the retake is coming forth. Grenades are out to pressure these players off. KZQ dropping down, getting taken. Ricky and Sunder really doing the damage they need to maintain the pressure. And they're not gonna allow this to be 6-6. They pick up that 7th round.
Where even did Sunder come from? I mean, Sunder must have been on site. And then just fought the door, got the kill, wraps around. There's just too many people on site to deal with, right? Nobody's playing that main condition, which I really, really appreciate how WSU Gold really went for that, right? They said, okay, we're going to play everyone on site. We're not going to play for time. We know they're going to brawl us because we're popping that Killjoy ult, because they're popping the, you know, the 2 ultimates with that Null Command and the Hunter's Fury. So a great call by WSU Gold to realize what that's going to happen.
Oh, the shots come forth. Sunder again coming up from the cinders, from the ashes. They find the picks that they need early on. Still, QIQ on the site. A timing found by Coca is going to be very sweet, like a nice cup of chocolate on a rainy day. It is it's very, very strong here for WSU. Ricky finding another onto KZQ is going. KZQ? Honestly, we need to get a name pronunciation check on that at some point, but at this point, right, 1 player standing, you only have Izumi, and it's just been a very dominant performance for WSU Gold that they're
Spike
just
planted.
not really unsure of themselves. They know what they're doing on this site takes, and if they have any adaptations like you were talking about a bit, Ari, they aren't worried about them. It's like, all right, well, you guys can adapt, but so can we.
I mean, it's just looking in shambles for the final round of this half too, right? You have few of these players for royalty just not even on a full rifle and shield buy. You have WSU Gold having the 2 brawl ultimates with that Hunter's Fury. You could play it for just a site take or even post plant, and then just the null command. I mean, what are you gonna do in this next round? It's just gonna be
Shut down.
impossible. Well,
You play for
maybe not
exits.
impossible. Is yeah, there's some picks here, maybe some advantage gain. Ooh.
Oh, that timing on Azumi just crouching a little bit more. They know that they're mid, catches one more off
Last
guard.
round in the half.
We're giving a you know, not, I don't know, do you call it a haircut for KO or just like a head polish?
I call that a consolation kill.
I mean, it really is, honestly, near the end, but just if we're talking about consolation prizes and kills, that's not what you need. You need to be more dynamic.
True, right? This is what was it? The French Revolution, where everyone was just getting
Get out of my
decapitated
way.
towards the end, right?
Well,
Something like that.
Shoot for the neck and aim for the head, right? Our favorite Frenchman, Chamber. I don't know how to do a good French accent. I'm sorry for everyone who had to hear that. But the one thing that I am
Shut
not
up,
sorry about.
nerd.
Shut up, Ari. That one doesn't have the same ring to it, but the thing I don't want to shut up about it is WSU Gold, right? They have 4 ultimates. They have a really dominant play style. They play very passively in the early round, find the early picks, and then they just win. I don't know. Have you talked about a remedy to the madness? Have we discussed this to no end? I thought we had like some adaptations we could see out of the defensive side. These early picks are definitely something that's worth it. Fight comes forward. Okay. The rhetorical question kind of answered, right? They just needed to win some of their gunfights, it seems, and pick up the numbers. Now it's just a matter of maintaining their positions, hopefully, for this defensive line. Royalty not looking for the 9-3, looking for the 4th, because they have 4 players alive. Counter ultimate comes out. It's going to be way easier to enter onto the site, but Azumi hiding in a little bit of a rat spot, not able to net themselves too much. Need to switch off, but thankfully QIQ and chemistry are there to secure that victory.
Okay, there was a lot
Switching
that just
sides.
happened right there, and I'm still trying to gather my thoughts after that one because there was a lot of mistakes, but also a lot of nice things that happened that round, right? Talking about the ultimates for WSU Gold. Oh, look, a timeout. Wow, that gives me more time to yap. Look at me. But, you know, WSU Gold, right? They had those 2 ultimates. I wanted them to go fast there, right? There is a broken kind of ish buy. So losing 1 player in mid, not really going to do you anything. You're not fighting for any sort of advantage. So really, it's going to be very, very valuable to just hit a site, get that plant down, and yeah, there's a cipher there. So what? That's what the null command's for.
At this point, right? Like this is I think this is the first time out we've seen. Am I not mistaken? This is the first
Yeah,
time
it's the
out we've
first
seen.
time out. At the second half? Like what? It's already halftime.
That's so like frustrating to me because as a coach I would always yell, like if I ever had to coach a team I'd be like, yeah, I'm out guys, we are trolling a little bit. we're doing some silly gooses here, and I think they're gonna talk about this half, right? But it's also gonna give WSU Gold time to talk about the half. They're going to talk about, all right, how are we going to play this? We're here on attack now. This is potentially the easier side for a team like Royalty, where they are really good at just slamming onto sites and playing it like a team deathmatch and just dump some util, get some of those picks, and vibe out. The difference is, though, is they have a cipher, so they don't have the same KJ sort of play style. The trips are going to be positioned differently for this team. I also can't forget the spike.
Yeah, that's kind of important. I mean, if they want to just try it without the spike, maybe go for it. I don't know how well it's going to work out for you, but you're more than welcome to give us a new go and shape the meta for yourselves. But yeah, you know, mid control is the name of the game once again, as at least we see a smoke this time going up towards, you know, mid, just to provide a little bit more pressure. But we see that Killjoy alarm bot once again holding that space. It's traditional. It's Ascent. What else do you expect?
I mean, I expect 001 here to get at least one before they get out. And considering that Sunder just started us off, you need to get some picks here, at least something onto Chemistry. Chemistry is going to fall back again. They're just playing a game of cat and mouse here of who's going to peek first. But KZQ looking for that pop flash. Flashes out, peeks out. Sunder grabbing their equal. The trade still netted for these teams. And looking at the defensive side, they're playing way better in terms of playing together, right? They're really reading into their enemies' movements and control and space. Now look at this. They know Dr. Chemistry's using this to cross. Like, what else would that smoke be used for? And they catch the timing at the perfect moment to just sweep the rest of these players under the rug.
I think that Omen there, Dr. Chemistry, needs to be aware that, okay, yes, I smoked my tree cross, but as soon as I throw my flash, I'm going to be found out. I'm going to make a sound, and then they are going to just run at me through the smoke. So I have never seen a person just let that smoke happen and think, oh, I can't shoot through there. Oh, I'm not going to walk through there. I've never seen someone just be like, oh, yeah, if there's a smoke there, it's a brick wall. That is the most, like, transparent smoke is that cross for tree. I've seen people re-swing out of that time and time again. So yeah, maybe just something to learn off of the traditional ascent.
Look at the rush though! It gets read into! 001 finds one, needs to dash away, low HP, looks for the second, but doesn't find it. The trade at least comes forth to some degree. Kiziku falling back, not wanting to get caught off guard here by these players, but looking at this, right? Defensive side having 9 rounds up, spike going down, players firing on all cylinders and locking in those double digits. It's almost like they're trying to say, hey, we're locking in this game for us.
WSU Gold are just putting on a show right now, and you know, we're seeing score lines that Royalty was putting up in previous rounds of this bracket, right? WSU Gold was the team that had to play the 15-13. So we thought, okay, maybe they're the ones that struggle. But no, it's Royalty that are struggling to get even a round on the board. You expect them to get this one here as it is their gun buy up against a bonus. But I don't know if that's really going to be the case here, just off of how we've been seeing them play.
And with this, right, you know, they kind of lock in their fate almost. The pistol rounds are really important for you to win, though, the 1 and the 2. And a lot of teams, right, if you don't win the pistol, it's very hard for you to win the series. And considering that their pistol win rate has been, I think, in total, I believe it is currently 1 out of 4, so 25%. That's very low. You really want to be winning those. At least if you win one, winning that round after. And for this, like, a 4-8 scoreline, you kind of need to win the pistol. That's how those, like, really swing rounds start. You win the pistol, you win the bonus, you potentially win that 3rd round, and then boom, now it's no longer 8-4, it's like 7-8, and you've won 3 rounds in a row, and the enemy team needs to take a timeout because they're like, hey guys, it's 7-8 and we're kind of losing. But no, it doesn't happen that way. That's a different storyline and some alternate dimension, some alternate reality.
Oh, the barrel spotted. So
They say no?
Yeah, they know.
They can smell you. The alternate reality is also where 001 is 007. 001 starting to shoot, but not finding much. It's going to be Ricky to find the 2-piece. Gets traded out, though, by I'm So Kawaii. But the cuteness isn't going to save you. You need to do a little bit more damage. The damage found onto Kizu, onto Chemistry. Leaves Kawaii stranded alone. They pick up some victories for their prize. Free weapons, right? Yeah.
Yeah, free weapons, and overall, I even think free round. I just want Royalty to realize what WSU Gold's setup is, right? This is traditional Ascent. So you're seeing Killjoy on B, just traditional A one-way, Killjoy alarm bot in mid. I want them to realize, hey, we have a KO for a reason. Let's either hit this Killjoy, right? Or let's maybe just realize, hey, let's break this alarm bot in mid. We can smoke it off. We can fight for market. We can pinch. We can do so many things. And right now, they're kind of just taking their chances, going for that gamble hit without really too much information. Sure, you might know who's there, but you want to try and manipulate the numbers so that you can have a little bit more of a free sight.
I mean, because they have the eco, because they have the, like, slower pace here. I don't think it's gonna be a victory. I think it's gonna be hitting the match point, right? We've seen WSU Gold doing a good job. Nearly rolling over them through the wall, but nothing found just yet. This lurk from QIQ is really good here. But if we look on the other side, Ricky has the read, but gets caught off guard. The crosshair not low enough. QIQ takes the low peak and takes the weapon away as well. Shots come forth for 001. Okay, things are heated up here. Dashes out to the site. Lion and Dr. Chemistry both on the site. I believe that might have also hit a little bit of Lion as well, but it's not going to slow them down. 001 getting immediately traded out. The spray onto the site wins out. And even though, I mean, it was a very close game, the call was made. It's 12. Match point found for WSU.
Yeah, Sunder there managing to get that final kill as a 1v1, but no blunder made by him, as he will not give you a reason to slander him. Instead, they will be on that match point, which is very, very favorable for them. And they're talking From the Shadows is online, and there is a neural theft online for royalty. So what does that mean for them? Hey, maybe we should play for a pick, get one, then play off info based off of that neural theft, hit accordingly, and just overall win. But I don't want them to lose too much early.
What?
Oh, that's good.
What? I think you
That's a
heard
good
me kind of
start.
yell that out. I was leaning back in my chair. I was like, huh, I wonder what's going to happen here. And I just see the pick come out, but we see Zooter immediately finding themselves in the grave. The number is still falling in favor right now for Royalty, as they have a chance to pull off a little bit of a reverse sweep. A little too late for this kind of change of pace, though, I would say. Ricky managing to find QIQ is going to give them some level of confidence. But now the ultimate is gained. One player found. 001 pops the blades to go in for it. I mean, they have the money. They have the confidence. Why not end it out here? Gets caught off guard. Dr. Chemistry is just going to spam them through. KZQ falls. I thought KZQ had the read there, but no. Dr. Chemistry, the player to take them down.
Well, that was close. I mean, hey, I'm all for that blade storm.
So
Go for it.
The viewers, you guys can't see the chat, but as the casters, we could see kind of like the program feed, and we just see the game, and someone typed in GG, and then they said, "Oh no." Well, they didn't use those kind of phrasings, but it seemed like players of little faith for the side of Royalty, which again goes into that confidence we were talking about.
Right, the mental just seems to be a little bit lower for Royalty. You would think with such a high up standard in the kingdom that they should be popping off and having all that confidence, but no, the Melton Man will take that all away.
It takes away a lot of their utility as well. Kawhi dashes it in and they get stalled out, but still, look at defense just collapsing onto them. Thankfully, KZQ comes back and finds a pick. Now Sunder locks it in. That was a really rambunctious round. That was so fast. We didn't even have time for a clean handoff there, but it gets taken away and one out.
Well, GG.
Go next, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
It's that mental I was talking about, almost.
Right, the mental, and you say go next, except there is no next. That's it. That was a map conversion for WSU Gold. They take this one 2-0, and they are your grand finals winners of the Nexus Rivals Series 1.
They went out, and it almost kind of rings in my ear of like they aimbot one of their star players not here for the tournament, not here for the play. I mean, Easter might have kind of bumped them out of a victory almost in some case, but not to blame the eggs of Easter, just to kind of provide some perspective. A victory found and a team made. I just think the competitiveness of Ascent was a little bit lackluster. 5-15, not something you expect normally in a grand finals, but still very good and very dominant out of WSU, and it makes me happy as more collegiate teams are competing in these tier 3 tournaments and winning them out.
Yeah, and something that I wanted to mention a little bit earlier was, when it's something like your team's map pick, you're going to be going with strats that and you might be a little bit caught off guard when something unexpected happens, right? Because you have protocols for everything when it happens, except when it doesn't go the way that you want it to. Then everything is shambles. You're stuck. You don't know what to do. And Royalty were caught a little bit red-handed, caught with their pants down. weren't able to get those rounds on the board, and they will fall 13-5, 2-0 fashion.
Well, that's gonna kind of wrap it up here for the day. WSU Gold are your guys' champions here tonight. And wherever you are, wherever you're watching, as always, I love to end things off with a classic. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a wonderful rest of your day. That's gonna be Nerds signing off. Ari, anything else?
I like Valorant. Go Valorant.
I go Valorant. Cheers, homies.